That must have been the most aggressive pitching performance I've ever watched.
Tarik Skubal was angry. He was
Like
mad.
super mad, like vindictive.
Yeah. That's the wild card strikeout record, 14 strikeouts. The old record was 13. He was dealing 5 straight strikeouts, so many swinging strikeouts. He had the Guardians number all night long. That was absolutely aggressive. He came to play. I mean, I've never seen anything like that's just the mode he activated was otherworldly, man. I can't describe it. This kid is, you get a little worried about him at the end of the season. He's making some mistakes, but uh, people are worried like, oh, is he really worth all that money? But I tell you, man, I mean, if the Tigers don't pay this guy, somebody else is going to give him a fuck ton of money.
The
But I don't want
Yankees.
to talk about that right now. Let's just focus. Yeah, probably. Ugh. But Yankees are one of those New York teams.
They're very
But
poopy.
yeah, yeah, the Mets didn't make the playoffs, so I'm glad about that. But the Yankees, they're playing the Red Sox right now. It should be a good series. But Aaron Judge hits like 200 in the playoffs. But anyways, back to Skubal. Absolutely incredible performance. That was like Verlander-esque. That's absolutely incredible. And we've been discussing, like, is this guy, worth the kind of, praise he gets? Is it a good thing to compare him to, is it a correct thing to compare him to Justin Verlander? And if that's the kind of performance he's going to give in the playoffs, man, absolutely. The comparisons are justified. That's as far as I'm concerned. Yeah.
I mean, you said it, dude. That performance was what we used to see from Verlander. Verlander never pitched that angry, though. But what we saw as far as dominance, as
No.
far as heat, as far as the ball just hitting the glove, and you're like, God damn, that hurt watching that, right? And it was
Yeah.
his velocity that he had on his ball, and it was just it was next level. And you're right, that is exactly why Tarik Skubal decided that he wanted to be the best pitcher in baseball, and when he needed a showcase of why you should pay him like the best pitcher in baseball, that was it, man. That was it.
Yeah, it was really, I mean, yeah, it's incredible. He made his case. I mean, I don't know. I mean, but just that's the kind of performance you need. And you absolutely have to shut the Guardians down. That's what, Justin Verlander used to do. Whenever his team needed a
Yeah.
win, he'd make sure to get them one,
And set the
during his
tone too.
prime. And set the tone. The Guardians weren't getting anybody on base. Will Vest closing it out, that incredible play to get Jose Ramirez out before he hit. I mean, that how he got on base was just crazy. You got to run around third, nobody out, and then they're able to get out of the inning cleanly and win the game. I mean, really incredible performance all around from our pitching. Our hitting, yeah, but it is
Yeah.
playoff baseball. Yeah, I mean, they got the clutch hits when they needed to, but they did have
Yeah.
9 hits. Yeah, but I mean, as far as
Okay.
the run goes, a lot of
Are you trying to
we're
rage
still worried
bait
about
me?
getting guys. No, 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 but I don't know. Maybe a little bit.
I did some stat digging today at work. I had the pleasure of actually, we did this thing at work. We volunteered for Motor City Citizens, and we were out in the east side of
Yeah,
Detroit cutting grass and stuff. So I'm sitting there trimming some lawn, and I'm like, damn it. I wore a Tiger shirt, so everyone's talking to me about the Tigers game. And I kept thinking in my head this 300 stat, right, that you and I were talking about. And I'm not going to get into full detail on it, but there's some validity to that. And I want to bring that up because we had a long conversation over text about the decline of your average hitter and your increase
yeah.
in home runs and yada, yada, yada. But
hmm
um, this is where I'm headed into this conversation for game two. Who's on the mound?
I don't know. I gotta say, I would probably give the ball to. I mean, if I absolutely had to, I'd probably give it to Jack Flaherty because I know his numbers against playoff teams have been very solid this year, better than Casey Mize's.
Correct.
Charlie Morton isn't really an option. Uh,
No. Charlie Morton is
I'd say
garbage.
Case. Yeah, well, he's gone obviously. Chris Paddock isn't really an option. You're probably going to be platooning some people. You're going to be doing some bullpen magic, some pitching chaos. But I'd say Flaherty's your number 2, Mize is your number 3, and then the rest is just it's up to AJ Hinch and how he wants to use the bullpen
And
or
now,
what
how do
kind of
you
guys he
think?
wants to add.
Well, how do you think the Cleveland Indians are going to do? What do you think they're going to do? Who do you think they'll start?
Um, I'm not super familiar with their roster, but well, they got to find some. I mean, I'd start a lefty because Tigers usually have trouble starting hitting lefties this season. But we'll see. We'll see what goes. What the
Well,
next
here's
game
where I'm
is.
headed, Herm,
Yeah.
though, is I'm thinking, do you trust the offense to win this game? We trusted Tarik Skubal to win this game. We did. 2-1. Do you trust the offense to win you the next 2 games or the next game? Sorry. And then not only that, we're talking about piecemealing starter for game 2, going to ourselves, okay, well, once we do get out of the wild card, what does it look like in a 5-game series? Right? Like, we don't have an
Yeah.
explosive offense. We don't have an offense that's notorious for just ripping shit apart, right? So
Yeah.
everything is going to be a coin flip and a roll of the dice. So that's just really where I think my head's at, where I'm like, okay, you got your awesome Scooble game, but outside of that, you bring up Jack Flaherty. I think he does a nice job against big money teams and big pitching, but the first home run this guy gives up, you already know, dude, it's meltdown time after that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, it's kind of just one of those things. I mean, I don't man, I don't know. I don't want to be. I mean, everyone's so down on the Tigers. I don't want to be too much of a downer on the Tigers. I think they got a shot to close the door on the Guardians, but they got to take it. They got to absolutely convert these hits into runs. I think they got enough pop in their bats to take on the Cleveland Guardians pitching, but in clutch moments, I'm getting nervous. I know these guys can't really. I mean, everybody's average with runners in scoring position. I mean, not everybody, but some of their
The
averages,
bulk of the team.
The bulk of the team is just not good at getting off the base and getting them back home. It's just one of those things. But I think, I'm looking for something here. But anyways, I think what we're going to have to do, I think the offense will be disappointing. I'll just say that. I think it'll be close. These are going to be some close games. I think that I mean, it's kind of a crapshoot. I don't want to give a non-answer or anything like that, but I think the Tigers can. I think they can put enough on the Cleveland Indians to actually win some games. But their offense has to step up, and their bullpen has to step up. I mean, it's been so inconsistent lately. I know playoffs, it's a different attitude. It's a different kind of era. I know Tigers are really happy to be in the playoffs. I know that we didn't like the way we got into the playoffs, but you got to keep in mind, this is only the 18th time the Tigers have been in the playoffs.
Don't talk about
they've been a franchise.
Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
And they've been they've been a franchise for over 120 years. So, take what you can get. Hopefully they can reach another level. This was, absolutely, a dominant performance from Skubal. That's what you expect from the guy. But can they find a higher gear? Can they get back into?
And who's that going to be?
All those long stretches they had throughout the season.
Who's going to be your gear setter? Hey,
I don't know.
Why you think about that? I do want to give a shout out to some people because we have a lot of people that just jumped in after work. So, Hermdale the Doc says, "What's up?"
What's up?
Big Dan V says, "What's up?" Oh, Jesus Christ. Seabass says, "I want to come over and braid our beards together and giggle." I'll just let you figure out who that is.
Yeah.
Offense is to help Skubal and Mike. Got to get the bats. So, yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out. Thanks, guys, for hopping on. This was a must after that performance, dude.
Yeah.
And we also need to talk about your beard. I think he seriously might be on his way over. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Anyways, but you got to keep in mind. I mean, as far as the offense goes, it makes me nervous because I know they did have one unearned run today. It was It was a sacrifice bunt by McKinstry, moved the runner in scoring position, but there was an error on the Cleveland defense. Riley Green scored from third, and that's how they got the winning run in. It's just one of those things, you're going to take advantage of those bloopy errors and whatnot. But
well, what about
kind of speaks to?
What about that toss from Javi to freaking Torkelson to put Ramirez on third?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I tried to talk about. Just Javier. We all saw that diving catch he made that secured the game that got the Tigers into the playoffs. I know Javier he's very good defensively, but that you just can't do that shit. And the fact I don't want to say the Tigers were lucky to win this game. I don't believe they were lucky. I believe, well, maybe they were a little lucky, but I don't want to attribute that to them winning. But it's kind of hard. The way they scored, but Tarik, was just. Skubal was just incredible. I know I said that a million times, but it's worth reiterating. But
I don't know. It's not luck, dude. You're right. It's not luck, but what it is it's when they play pissed off, that's what you get, right? They follow through on every little thing, and they don't fall apart and deflate. I don't want to say that this team and how young of a roster it is, maybe that's the last thing they need is a 15-game winning season where their heads are a little bit bigger than they need to be because, I thought this was going to be like a bless you boys looking team, but the back end of that season was so weak and so sloppy, right? That I think you're going to see, okay, game 1, you get Tigers before the All-Star break. Now, game 2, what are we going to get? Are we going to ride that wave where before the All-Star break, everybody was, it doesn't matter after this game, you would have thought they're going straight to the World Series, right? Just the way they were playing. So can they find that rhythm? They fell out of rhythm. That's what it was. A young team that fell out of rhythm that does not have cornerstones on the offensive side yet. And that's what we're looking at. So, anyways, that was my little rant.
Yeah. I know. I'm looking at, it's just as I stutter and stammer for a few seconds. I think the Tigers, they're going to need some more. Obviously, they just need to be more consistent, offensively. No shit. We saw they just collapsed. Every aspect of the game. But you're going to have to. The big investments in the trade deadline did not work out. I talked about that in one of my old videos. That's on Harris. That's on Harris.
That is
the moves he made. Except for Montero's had some good moments. Finnegan has been excellent, but other than that,
well, what did you want him to do?
Nothing.
Like if you would have said big arms, what were we going to go do? What did we miss out on?
Looking at who was available at it's just
I feel like it was the Eugenio Suarez sweepstakes. It was bats.
Yeah.
There weren't big arms,
he's
right?
Kind of been a non-factor on merit. Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to have some big times where he hits some dingers, right? But let's say the not off season, but the dudes that were out there, man. I'm not saying he could have done everything he did was perfect. I'm just saying if this was a year to go, well, there really wasn't a lot of big names out there that he swung and missed on. We saw it with Yzerman, right? He tried to get some big names, and they were like, no thanks. If that's what would have happened here, well, I guess it did with Bregman. And hey, we tried to get Bregman.
Yeah.
Guy hits over.
We did. That whole saga was just ended in such a anticlimactic, shitty way, but
it did.
Looking at, I had to look some stuff up here, but looking at some of the starting pitchers that were available at the deadline, you got Joe Ryan from the Twins, Mackenzie Gore from the Nationals, Dylan Cease from the Padres, Mitch Keller, Zach Gallen, Sandy Alcantara, some solid names there. Those are the starting pitchers. As far as relief goes, you got David Bednar, Griffin Jacks, Danny Colombe, some solid names, but I just don't know. You kind of wanted maybe the Eugenio Suarez, there was talk about him with the Tigers, and I know that, he's a guy that could really give a jump start to this Tigers offense. He's been absolutely on fire. I know he kind of petered off after the trade deadline, but he's the next Tiger, obviously, so there's a history with him on the team. I thought that maybe that connection maybe would have given the Tigers some some advantages at the deadline, but sadly it did not. But I don't know. The trade deadline, maybe it wasn't that great. Really, maybe there was only so many moves that Harris could have made. That's true. That's a good point. But it was kind of a lose-lose situation.
And that's what we got to do at this point, right? With game 2 on its way to be fairest to Mr. Harris. Ooh, that kind of rhymed. Is that we're going to have to look at it and offer him up something, right? We're going to have to say, okay, if you would have done this, Scott Harris, then I think you would have done a good job. Not just saying you fucked up at the deadline, which is what everybody said, right? So it's not just some hot take here. But yeah, just it's now hindsight looking back. But you're looking at this wild card race now, and I didn't watch the Padres Chicago game. I saw like a blip of a highlight, but freaking Cubs, man, they're just kind of sending the Padres out into obliteration and saying bye-bye, like a team that probably will blow up, right? We might be having a new era in baseball in the next couple of years where some of these teams, right, like Clayton Kershaw, he's leaving the Dodgers, he's retiring, right? New York will always be New York, Boston will always be Boston. But when you're looking at some of these teams, like San Diego looked to be a future powerhouse with Tatis and a couple other dudes, but I think that team fizzles out.
Manny Machado.
Yeah.
Xander
yeah,
Bogaerts.
Manny Machado. I mean, dude, look at shit. Wow, how have they not been?
Yeah, the only person, Xander Bogaerts had a couple hits. They were held to 4 hits by the Cubs. Freddie Furman got a hit. Jackson Merrill got a hit, but Tatis was silent. Reyes was silent. Manny Machado, he had 1 walk, and that was about it. The Cubs
bring back
really shut him down. Matthew Boyd, ex-Tiger Matthew Boyd, kind of shut him down. But
who they credit?
I don't know. Like
they credit Tarik Skubal's changeup to Matthew Boyd, which I just learned.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, guess Tarik Skubal does not like his natural throwing motion, as he doesn't turn his wrist over naturally. So when he was trying to throw a breaking ball pitch, Matthew Boyd's the same way, and he's like, "Hey, I noticed you do this, that, or the other." And actually, the person I was sitting there watching that fact with goes, "Why do they have pitching coaches if these guys are just helping each other out?" And I'm like, you know what? Good point.
Yeah, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah. So, anyways,
still got a bit of a cough.
Oh, never again. If you do that again, the internet will banish you.
I know. But God, it's just this girl said she had like this tickle in her throat at work. I think I got whatever she had, but
Hermdo, what's going around, brother?
You
gotta stay safe out
going
there.
around. I was sick for a couple days, a couple weeks ago, and it just kind of clinging to me. So I'm probably gonna have to go. I got a doctor's appointment soon to make sure I don't have anything fucking seriously wrong. But well, I don't know much about the Padres. One of those teams, I mean, they took some big swings and misses throughout their history, but until they really got to Tatis, they were kind of just an also ran. I mean, we all know the Tony Gwynn days back in the '80s and stuff like that. The guy struck out 5 times in his career, but Padres is one of those teams. They took some big swings in free agency in recent history, and it just didn't work out. But they become one of those teams. They kind of been behind the Giants and Dodgers, but they can still. I think they're still. I just think the ceiling is a little too low and the floor is a little too high. I don't know if they're going to be competitive in the long term, but they do have some talent. I mean, I don't want to write them off, but
what sucks with them is
a good division.
It is, and the problem is they went out and they tried to outspend teams, right? And they tried to be the team that can be big and outspend. But really, what they should have done is continued with their drafting, because at one point, and that's how they got to this point. But at one point, their farm system was nuts, right? So, you look at teams like that, and I'm asking because we're going to be in that kind of position next year, right? Where all right, our farm system is awesome. It's stacked to the gills. We have money coming off the books. We have the temptation that the Padres have, right? And do we want to go down that route? Do we want to sit there and say, all right, Boston, you give me your best corner outfielder. New York, you give me your best shortstop, right? Let's pay these guys I don't think that's where this team's headed, Hermdo. I really don't. I don't think
I
Scott
don't think
Harris
so
is going to
either.
do that.
No, it's not the Dombrowski days anymore.
No.
I don't think Chris Ilitch really wants to field a team that's going to cost him $250 million, maybe even more. We're not going to see a kind of Mets like team and Detroit just really, except for like the early 2010s, it was never really that kind of market.
No, it
Detroit
wasn't.
fans still go absolutely apeshit for the team, but kind of going against the grain. Some of the guys we had on those teams back then, but I think you're going to see it more. It's going to be more of a concentration. I think they're going to lean heavily on the kids, Kevin McGonigal and Max Clark.
That would be great to see. It
I think
really
we're going to
would.
see a lot of, yeah. I think we're going to lean heavily on those guys instead of just like trying to swing for the fences. We might we might get Alex Bregman to come over, give him like $40 million in 3 years or something. But
do you
I
really
don't
think
know.
he comes here? I mean, I know the practical brain in you says yes, but like, do you really think he's going to come after he kind of shit on us?
I would, I'm not going to say, it's kind of like, I'm kind of middle of the road with it, like 60-40 on this.
Okay.
But I mean, he still is, I mean, Boston has, they got a decent, Boston's decent.
Yeah.
They got some talent. They're in the playoffs, obviously playing against the Yankees.
And they're Boston. They're a big market.
How the wild card goes. They're Boston. They're a massive market. Obviously, Boston Red Sox fans are insane. It's a crazy not hockey. I'm sorry. It's a crazy baseball market. Has been for over 20 years.
Well, it's a good hockey market too.
Yeah, it is too. The Bruins sell out usually. I mean, even though the Bruins product hasn't been good this last year, but yeah, it's one of those things. It's a team like that. Detroit just can't. I mean, I love the Tigers. I'm a ride or die Tigers fan. Obviously,
Yep,
I've been my whole life, but it just you don't really have the cachet of a Yankees or a Red Sox or like a Cubs or even like a Los Angeles, obviously. But it's one of those teams you're gonna. I think I think the right way to do it, because we saw the steep decline after like 2013, 2014 with the Tigers, and where you had all these bad contracts, where your farm system was totally depleted, and you weren't playing competitive baseball again for a decade. You were shot.
Yeah.
And I know something similar happened with the Phillies, but at least they had a World Series. But the Phillies obviously are back into it now. But I mean, the Phillies and Tigers followed a similar trajectory.
Well, look who their general manager is. Dombrowski.
Yeah. Yep. But just like over the years, but seeing, the Tigers, I think if they build it right, I still believe in the system. I still, despite some of Harris's, perceived mistakes, I still think they're doing it the right way. Rely on the farm hands, do the good drafting, stock up the farm. I don't want them to buy a team. I don't want them to go out and give like max contracts to people. If you want to get somebody, if you want to do something like a Gleyber Torres kind of deal where you're going to bring in a guy on a prove it deal or something like that, I'm totally okay with that. If you want to give some short term to some guy,
I'll give you my honest opinion. Do
player.
It just like Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are doing. What you're laying out right now is the if you have a I don't want to say a name, but if you are somebody and you want to come be a part of this, we're going to give you a 1-year prove it deal. And if you prove that you're a big part of what we're trying to build and what we're trying to do, then we'll take care of you. That's not a problem. If you're not CJ Gardner Johnson, we cut loose with you, right? And that's the one thing that I'm going to try and give Scott Harris a little bit of slack, is similar to what we did with Brad Holmes, and just say, let him kind of cook. Let's see if there's a pattern with this guy, right? Let's see if we can figure out specifically where he likes to pull guys from. Not so much with the drafting, but the free agency, right? Are there clubs he likes to talk with? Are there agents he works well with? What type of player does Scott Harris in free agency look for? I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
You might know.
I don't know either.
Ooh.
I can only like speculate. I don't know if he's going to bring in a big power bat or something. I mean,
I'd like
the Tigers. I just don't think they're looking to really spend like that. I think those days kind of ended when Dombrowski left. And I know Tigers fans, I mean, back during those days, back when the Tigers were hot, we were all excited to get, can we get Chris Sale, or can we get David Price, or can we get, whoever, can we get, another, like somebody, Prince Fielder or whatever. But I think those days are kind of over with. It's just reiterating what I've been saying, but
no, I agree.
I'm not sure what his I'm not sure what his postseason or his offseason strategy is going to be. I'm assuming he's going to want to shore up the rotation. I think he's going to go after maybe an arm or two, because I really don't trust the guys we got. I think Flaherty, I don't know what the deal with him is going to be. I doubt we re-sign him. Casey Mize.
So what's his
I
contract
think
status?
Casey Mize, I don't know what is his contract. Let me take a look, Jack. I got to look all this stuff up. I should have done some show prep. Sorry.
Oh, there's no show prep needed. I just threw this right on you.
Yeah. Okay. Let me look at his contract. Signed a 2-year, $35 million contract with the Detroit Tigers. Okay, so I take back what I said. He had a $5 million signing bonus, $20 million salary this year, and a player option for 2026. So it looks like we got him through next year. Can he be a solid rotational guy? Because, man, he really started falling off at the second half of the season. A lot of guys did, but I still like him for the most part. I don't really mind him being here.
I don't want him to be the number 2, though, dude.
No. Let's take a look at some of the free agent pitchers.
I mean, this is the time where you better start falling in love with some guys, because if we're telling ourselves we're not bandwagon fans like all these other guys, we got to have a game plan. That's my thing. If we're going to have some criticism, let's come with a game plan.
Yeah, we got some big numbers here. I guess we got some big names here. Jack Flaherty does have an opt-out after this year. Justin Verlander is available. Shane Bieber, Dylan Cease, Framber Valdez, Chris Sale, another guy I wanted the Tigers to get back in the day. Marcus Stroman, Lucas Giolito. He has a club option. Stroman has a vesting option. Michael Lorenzen, that's a mutual option. Jose Urquidy, he's already on the Tigers, but he's got a club option next year. Max Anderson, Alex Cobb, he's going to be free. Maybe the Tigers will bring him back. Oh, Christ. Ugh. There's some guys. Max Scherzer still out there. Clayton, Clayton Kershaw's done after this year. I'm just reading this list. But, there's some decent names out there. Shane Bieber, Dylan Cease. I don't know. Maybe they run it back with Verlander. I thought they were going to. Part of me thought they were going to do that this year. And Verlander's been kind of a workhorse for the Giants in the latter half of the year.
Why couldn't he just come here and do that? Like, I think that would have just been the perfect situation, Tom.
It would have been perfect. Imagine getting into the playoffs with JV, just like back in the day.
And that's your workhorse. That's your backup. That's everybody's safety blanket.
Yeah. That's the guy. Imagine JV coming back to the Tigers wearing an old English D. We're getting into the playoffs with JV back in the roster. Imagine what a great story that would have been. I mean,
dude, it's like Hogan coming back in the red and yellow, dude. It's awesome. It's just that's as American as it can get, right? And I don't know. Maybe nowadays people are afraid to flex on the American flag and support the country. Right? Maybe they're communists. I don't know.
Maybe they are.
So I'm looking up at free agents right now too, and
yeah, me too.
Tell me a position you want to allocate.
Third base.
I knew you were going to say that, because that's kind of where I was headed. And you've got Bregman, Suarez. All right, so those are 2 free agency situations we already danced with. Max Muncy, a club option. Gio. Rojas, Yohan Makana. I mean, we already see there's a big drop off after Bregman.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm looking at Max Muncy's numbers. I got his offensive stats. I don't have his defensive stats. Let me take a look.
That's a lot of outfielders.
Look here. Yeah, there's a lot of outfielders. I was kind of shocked by that.
Wow.
But
good year to have a young DH too, because there's not a lot of DHs.
Yeah.
I really hope we lock Torres up. I like Gilbert Torres. I feel like he is he's got a home here.
I like so too. Yeah, exactly. I like Max Muncy. Looking at some of his numbers, LGRFG. What is that?
I would totally buy a
League
Paul
range
Goldschmidt
factor per
jersey.
game. Paul Goldschmidt. Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
He's so quiet and he just
he's on the
rakes.
Yankees, ain't he? Yeah, he is. Yeah, he still has some solid numbers. League fielding percentage about 964.
Dude, he's hitting
Fielding
274.
about 951.
Solid.
I'm not talking about Max Muncy. But,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I'm just looking at some guys here. But he still has some solid numbers. His offense is, he hits you about 20 bombs, hit around 243. It could be that's pretty good for for what the kind of the Tigers are going to be. I don't know if they're interested in him pursuing him at all, but excuse me.
But give me Paul Goldschmidt. I'll take him.
Yeah, Paul Goldschmidt too. What's he? You said he was hitting 270?
274. Right now in this game too, he's 1 for 1. Of course, he's their leadoff.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they got him batting leadoff. Okay.
Yeah, they got him batting.
Good old. Yeah, I mean that'd be interesting to see. I don't know. I think Tigers might invest in some bridge guys, some guys over the age of 30 who still have a little bit of a bat left. That could be a possibility. Yeah, I think Goldschmidt would probably be a good bridge guy. Some other guys here. But let's take a look again at where the hell did I put that free agent?
I mean, this is going to be an interesting series. I love when it's always New York and Boston. How corny can that consistently get?
Oh yeah, that's always. I know I'm getting sick of that shit, but
which one of those teams is going to suck first, though? It's going to not be the Yankees.
Yeah. God, the Yankees are such a fucking. I mean, they look kind of rough throughout the year, and there was like a lot of talk about getting rid of Boone and all this shit. And I remember the Tigers smacked them up that last series. That was
6 years
fun to watch, especially in New York. But yeah, it's one of those things. You can't count the Yankees out; they're just a machine. But Bo Bichette
always
is
have
available.
Is that dude? Yeah. They're not going to get rid of Bo Bichette. They'd be stupid to get rid of him.
No, they'd be really stupid. I mean,
Toronto doesn't seem to be
a hell of a
in the mood to be stupid right now. They played Junior. They should pay Bo.
Yeah.
Again, a product of good drafting, right? The Blue Jays drafted well. That's a club that I've always respected and I've always cheered for.
Mm-hmm.
Really wanted them to get.
They were the underdogs
for Shohei.
I mean, they were. Yeah, that would have been interesting.
Right?
It's some interesting. I mean, Toronto's one of those interesting teams. Canadian baseball team, but they've had a legacy of good players. They haven't won the division in 30 years. It's really incredible.
Look who their
seeing the strides this team has taken. I know. That's an extremely tough division. Look at I know Orioles are kind of taking a dump. The Rays, Orioles are usually two perennial contenders. I'm kind of surprised that the Rays and Orioles are as mediocre as they are this year. But, Boston, the Yankees, and just to see, the Blue Jays in that spot, they were just kind of the perpetual redheaded stepchild of that division. But, more with the Blue Jays, they could be a team that joins a division with Detroit if this realignment happens. I talked a little bit about that
on the
channel. But,
and I didn't really know anything about that until you posted that video on the channel.
Yeah.
I really didn't know, and it got me thinking. I'm like, we're overdue for a realignment. We really are. Like, I used to be a traditionalist when it came to all this shit, but screw that, dude. No, we need a realignment. It needs to balance things out.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think the way it's set up now is just kind of black, but I mean, it'd be interesting to see. Like, they were talking adding like a Great Lakes division. You'd have Milwaukee in there. You'd probably keep Cleveland around. Yeah, that'd be. I always had a respect for the Brewers. I always thought, I remember the Ryan Braun, Prince Fielder days back in the 2000s and how dynamic that team looked, and they were just never really able to get it done. But they could get it done this year. They looked real damn good. Obviously, they're like they just they just flew past the Tigers. They just flew past everybody else. I mean, it's absolutely insane. The kind of strides that franchise has taken the last couple of years.
All drafting, not big market team, not a big market team one bit.
Yep.
All put
Exactly.
together.
That's what you got to do.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
That's what you got to do. You got to get the guys in the draft. You got to build the farm system up. That's what Detroit did. That's why they had the level of success they did have this season. I know it kind of petered out near the end, but that's why the Tigers will remain relevant for the next few years, because of the drafting system. And yeah, El Avila he has his fingerprints on some of that, but he didn't know how to utilize it. He was just so bad in every other aspect of the game. He was a good drafter, but bad with every other aspect of the game. But some of the guys he was able to find, are staples of this team.
He needed to go. That's just the nicest way of.
Yeah,
that's the nicest way of saying he needed to go, Tom. And that's a nice way of saying
I know. It was a big part of the franchise for a long time, but it was just so clear he was in over his head. And
it's true.
The turnaround with Scott Harris, whatever issues you have with Scott Harris, you just got to be appreciative. That's the thing. I say the same thing with the Lions. You just got to appreciate where the team is at now. And we can't
correct.
I know that, the Tigers collapse was really something, blowing a 15-game lead this late in the season. Basically, it was a real mess, but, you got to appreciate where you are right now. The Tigers in a much, much better position than they were. Look at where the Tigers were 5 years ago. Look where they were in 2019. They lost 114 games.
Unwatchable.
It was insane.
Unwatchable.
Yeah, it was just it was a real mess. It was a real mess, and you're just thinking, is this team ever going to be relevant again? Are we just going to be bottom feeders, just bringing in also managers and just never have any kind of success again? And Avila did bring AJ Hinch here. Granted, AJ Hinch probably would have gone anywhere to give him a job, but he's had success here. He's been able to turn this Tigers team around for the most part. I know they still have some flaws, and there had to be some shoring up. You're going to have to rely on free agents a bit, but I just don't think we're going to see. Like I said, it's going to be kind of a slow and steady approach. But the Tigers have made strides, and they have proven they can be a very competitive team. But yeah. Oh, Lord,
God, how nice would it be
to
have a shortstop who's hitting over 300 like Trey Turner? I just see that.
That would be incredible.
That year that the Dodgers had that roster, I'm looking at some of these guys, and I'm just like,
yeah.
Oh, used to be on that team. Used to be on that team. Holy fucking shit, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at some of these bomb hitters, dude, and it's like Bo Bichette. He's got the second best average in baseball right now. Toronto's not giving him up. They got George Springer.
No.
This is somebody who I always wanted as a Tiger, because every time George Springer came up to bat against us, he drove me fucking crazy.
On the Astros, yeah.
God, he drove me crazy, dude. He really did.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm just pulling some names out. We're just reaching. We're just talking. But really, when it comes down to it, we're kind of just killing time for the next game tomorrow, because
pretty
right
much.
now we're riding the high energy off of the game we just watched. So
I'll tell you what, can you monologue for a little bit? I got to run to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back.
I can monologue. Can I monologue? This guy asked me if I can monologue. All right, so listen, we're going to do some breaking news here right now. It's actually I don't know if this is a good time or not, but it pains me to say this breaking news. I don't know if anyone is still listening. If you guys are here, let me know if you're still here. But the Cleveland Browns reportedly have benched Joe Flacco for Mr. Dylan Gabriel for the Vikings. Not breaking news in my opinion, but what that says is, listen, if you come play the Detroit Lions, we're going to make sure your quarterback is benched. And that kind of brings me to my next question. Is anybody excited about the Cincinnati game? I feel like this is going to be a very strange week for football. And
Yeah.
you know,
What was the final score of that game? Hold on a second. Oh, just one more quick thing. I did some looking up here. I think the Guardians look like they're going to start Tanner Bybee tomorrow, and then game 3 will probably be Slade Ciccone, or how you pronounce his name. So we'll see what the Tigers' plan is to do that. I imagine they're probably going to start Flaherty against that, but we'll
Flaherty
see.
and then Mize probably.
Bybee has Flaherty and Mize, yeah, but Bybee has a 12-11 record, 4.24 ERA, 162 strikeouts, 123 WHIP, kind of mid numbers, but still, he's a right-hander. We'll see what this team can do against him. But yeah, I just thought you asked me that earlier. I didn't really have a good answer. I kind of wanted to just.
No, I appreciate you following back
sure
because that was a genuine question. I didn't know either. So thank you for educating me.
I didn't know. You totally caught me off guard. I was just like, I don't know. Sorry.
Hey, it's okay.
Yeah. I'm scared, Mark. I'm scared.
So scared.
Oh, you're asking me too many tough questions.
Hey,
yeah, the Bengals got their shit rocked by the Broncos. Jesus Christ.
Not even that, man.
Jake Browning.
You missed the biggest news in the world. The Browns are changing their quarterback to Dylan Gabriel after Joe Flacco got manhandled by the Detroit Lions. So,
oh Lord.
Then following up with that, not only did we just play a team who just benched their 41-year-old starting quarterback, but that the Cleveland, or I'm sorry, they're playing like the Browns. The Cincinnati Bengals have an awful offense right now, and I feel absolutely terrible because all I'm seeing right now is ranking Bengals quarterback trade options, and it doesn't matter from our perspective, right? Because even if they were to bring in somebody, whoever we're playing, it's like, okay, do you want what's this goofball's name that's currently playing? You just said it.
Jake Browning.
Jake Browning. Okay, so we're going to unleash Hutch and the boys after Jake Browning, or do you want to take? And none of these trades will happen, but Winston, Russell Wilson, Andy Dalton,
Jameis Winston,
or Jameis Winston. Shut
Dalton.
up, right?
The Red Rockets still in the league.
Kirk Cousins, right?
Kirk Cousins. Oh man.
So yeah,
I'm a raw deal.
Screw him. He got paid.
I don't know. Well, yeah, I guess. I don't know. I just have empathy. I'm sorry. I have empathy.
You do.
But yeah, I'm looking at.
You're a lot nicer than I am.
Looking at this game, yeah, the Bengals are still 2-2. That's hard to believe, but
the
Jake. Yeah, I know, but that game against I know 2-2, but then they're 0-2 under the new quarterback. Obviously since Joe Burrow went down, but Jake Browning, 14-25, 125 yards. Chase Brown he had 10 carries for 40 yards, averaging 4 yards a carry. T. Higgins, 3 receptions for 32 yards.
Don't see the big deal in him. I don't.
Yeah, I don't get it either. Chase, it's Chase Brown has 31 receiving yards. So he had like 70 total yards on the day. That's not going to get the job. Jamar Chase, 23 yards at 5 receptions.
Guy's got a bag, but
yeah,
man, he's got a one out of town now.
Yeah. Too. Oh my God, yeah. It's just like they're not going to protect. I don't know what the deal with like the Bengals offensive line is. I don't know what I don't follow the Bengals too closely. Obviously I know I know Joe Burrow's a special quarterback, obviously, but the guy, if he's not going to stay healthy, it's going to be an issue, obviously. But yeah, we'll see. So I'm not really worried about the Bengals. I was more worried about the Browns than the Bengals. I thought the Browns could have possibly been a trap game, but it was not. It was not. So we'll see how they do. Lions probably went up 4-1, and then I know we're looking at the schedule and whatnot, but yeah, we'll see. It just, oops. We'll see how it goes.
Well, now you're looking at a league that has Joe Burrow out. It has Tyreek Hill out. It has who else do we have out of this league? We've got quite a few big name players that I think are on the wrong teams, right? So if you're an injured player and you're on the wrong team, which we all know half these guys are you going, how the fuck do I get out of town? Right? Is this my flash in the pan of scare? Like, dude, Tyreek Hill, this has to scare him and go, all right, I need to go get another ring real quick before I blow my other leg out, right?
Yeah.
Like, this isn't.
Yeah, he's not going to do
No.
anything in Miami.
Nothing. Nobody's going to do anything in Miami, dude.
No.
It's an awful team. It's an awful coach team. I feel bad for Aaron Glenn because he couldn't beat him, but
yeah,
the same thing with the Bengals, dude. Joe Burrow is going to do exactly what Matt Stafford did and just say, "Get me out of here." Right? Like, get a bunch of picks for me. Go out and draft a bunch of dudes. Go get Arch Manning, but like, get me
hit
out
a hard
of here.
reset.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
getting you ready for that.
Gonna hit that button. Oh, brother, I have not been following Texas too closely. I've kind of been. I know Michigan had a bye, so I didn't really have much to talk about this week. I've been kind of shirking my college football responsibilities.
If you want someone who loves Texas football, it's Hitch. He loves Arch Manning.
Yeah.
He's such a Texas kind of fella. He loves that team. But yeah, dude, it's gonna be. I'm glad we're not hitting a hard reset right now because you're looking at teams like Tennessee that hit a hard reset, and that's a hard reset with Cam Ward. New Orleans Saints, they're going to be doing that. The Jets, like they just got obviously Aaron Glenn, so that buys them time. They love Aaron Glenn, right?
Yeah.
Everybody buys them a couple years. But Carolina Panthers, again, sell the team, right?
Yeah, the Bryce Young experiment is not working out.
It's not.
To say the least.
Let him go somewhere else, dude. Stop gatekeeping and holding these guys to these shitty ass teams, right? Just let them go. You can cut coaches without any qualms. Move on with these guys, right? So the Browns, I think by the halfway through the season, we're seeing Shedeur Sanders, and I think they genuinely keep him as a starting quarterback. I do.
It's possible. I haven't seen much of him. I remember him at Colorado. I mean,
he's awful. But guess what?
Exciting player.
Dylan Gabriel is going to suck balls. I'm sorry, Dylan. He's going to suck balls, and there's nothing fun about Dylan Gabriel. Joe Flacco's funny story is over. So you're going to do what puts people's eyes on the TV, and you're going to put this clown show of a Shedeur Sanders in, and he's going to do his little dance for you and sing a song for you. And Cleveland's going to hate him. I really, truly think that they hate him.
Yeah, he doesn't. You know what? I haven't, I've seen the kid. I mean, yeah, he made some exciting plays in Colorado. I know, but the draft night, remember him falling like 150 spots or whatever. That was, that was brutal, absolutely brutal. I mean, because sometimes people are saying like this kid's like a first round talent, first or maybe second round, but that wasn't the case clearly. But from what I see of him in Cleveland, it seems like he doesn't take it seriously. He's like dancing around at practice, like cracking jokes and stuff. He's trying to be the class clown.
Well, that's the knock.
The impression that he takes the position seriously. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the knock on him, is that he doesn't, right? I mean, there's a thing you see where him and Cam Ward are throwing balls for the combine, and he goes up to Cam Ward and he's like, "Hey, you want to write a song?" And Cam Ward's like, "I play football, dude. What the fuck? Get away from me. I'm not writing a song." And I would have done the same thing. Like, just stop being weird and annoying. But I whatever. I think he's going to fizzle out.
He's in it for the celebrity.
For sure. And he'll fizzle out.
He's going to be...
It's over with, right? And I don't feel bad for him, because if you saw his pre-draft, his draft room, and all his chains and the chosen one and all this shit, like, dude, if you're buying your own hype that hard right now, like, I get building your brand, but if you're buying your own bullshit at that age, get the fuck out. You better be like your dad and your dad.
He's going to be, it's just like, obviously, like, Shedeur, buddy, your dad's not the coach anymore. You got to lock in.
Yeah.
I just don't think he has the ability. But furthermore, is it fair? I had a question for you, Mark.
Okay.
Is it fair to compare like the the culture or whatever you want to call it, the cult of personality surrounding Shedeur Sanders. Do you think it's fair to compare him to like a Johnny Manziel type player that's just essentially like undraftable? Do you say he has the same kind of legacy as Johnny Manziel?
He's definitely no, because Johnny Manziel didn't care about anything. He didn't care about football. He didn't come from a football pedigree. He just kind of walked through that whole situation. I believe that Shedeur Sanders is a good athlete, cares about football, but his perspective on it is just tilted and one from somebody who buys his own bullshit. And I think, again, every player has to buy their own bullshit. But if your last name wasn't Sanders, I think you would just be a fourth, fifth round quarterback. And if your name was Shedeur Bockwinkel, whatever, you'd have a shot in the NFL. Sorry, Shedeur Scarcella, Hitch's long lost other brother. But like, dude, if he would have been exactly what he is, he just without all the fanfare. He's a talented athlete.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. But it's just the fanfare that comes with it, and that's part of the NFL. That's part of their bullshit, right?
Yeah.
And why people don't give a shit about watching ESPN right now, and why there's 72.5 million people watching us live. But that's just my opinion. I think they love these shitty ass storylines in it, and if the player buys into them, they're gonna get ruined.
Yeah, I absolutely. And you see this kind of culture, like remember like Antonio Brown and some of these other guys, like all the glitz and glam. They get big into it. They buy into it. They essentially just they're sucking themselves off. They're just like they're huffing their own farts. You see it happen to lots of guys, and
they go.
They're fart huffers. That's what they are. That's what Shedeur Sanders is. He's a nepotism case. He is a talented player. He has upside. Maybe the Manziel comparison, I'm thinking, maybe not in terms of talent. I don't compare him to Johnny Manziel in terms of talent, but just like kind of the ego he has, But I know maybe that was kind of a brutal comparison. That's not fair to the kid. But I don't know.
Yeah, Johnny Manziel, I think his problem was he had demons, dude. That guy was just like on.
Yeah, he did.
I think that guy was just looking to get in trouble. And Shedeur's not like that. He's just, again, who's like, walks up to the kid, like guys like us who grew up in a normal house, and he's like, so how many Rolexes do you have? And you're like, what? And he's just out of touch with reality, right? But again, very talented.
Yep.
Just doesn't seem to have that come down to a normal level. But like, hell, if could be more like a Justin Fields if he had a better work ethic.
Yeah, possibly. Justin Fields can at least, I see it's frustrating, but he was scrambling a bit, against the.
Well, his athleticism.
Not the Broncos.
He's got really good athleticism, and he's
the Miami Dolphins. Yeah,
he's now that he's not with the Chicago Bears, he's kind of a guy that like I'm rooting for, because if there's anybody that could take the athletic quarterback and evolve it, it's a guy like him. He's big, he's strong, he's a smart guy. He doesn't seem to be a bad teammate. He's just not had the right coaching in front of him to take him to that next level. And I think if you would have had Justin Fields with Ben Johnson, you were actually probably would have been a lot better than Ben Johnson with Caleb Williams, because I don't know, just Justin Fields seemed a lot more coachable.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Caleb Williams has put up, I think, in his last like 21 games, he's had like 28 touchdowns and 8 picks. Caleb Williams is a talented guy. I know we hate him. He's got his fingernails talented and stuff like that. He does have talent. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how like the Fields thing would have worked out for him. Maybe they could have penciled it. They could have fit him into a better offense or something. Maybe it is a coaching issue. I mean, that's Aaron Glenn's problem now, or whoever the coordinator in Jets land is. But one more word on Shedeur Sanders. I know we talked about him in the draft, but that draft should have humbled him. I hope it does at some point. I hope he understands, how he came off to those teams was very, very bad.
He doesn't. I don't think he does.
You're probably
the Baltimore
right.
Ravens tell you that they're going to draft you and they're going to put you behind Lamar Jackson, and you're like, No, I want to start. You're like, what? I could be a part of an amazing franchise, sit behind a dynamic
Amazing
quarterback
franchise.
who, like, I'm
Yeah.
trying to mirror myself in. Like, nope. He's like, then he goes to the Browns, and that's like, you're still the
Yeah.
fourth string quarterback. So
I know. Oh, God.
yeah, you're
Just
gonna have a
imagine
shot to play for the Browns, but look at your shot now. Your shot from Baltimore could have been at such a different level and a different time, and your shot in Browns land is probably going to be after Dylan Gabriel throws like 5 interceptions and forgets the snap count, right? So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Imagine Shador in John Harbaugh's system being sculpted into like a Lamar Jackson archetype. That could be dangerous. But with the Browns, he's just going to stagnate, and I think it's his own fault. It's his own fault. But
it's 100% his own fault.
I think we ripped him apart enough. But talking about
yeah, dude. Speaking of that, he just sent me a text and said, "Easy up, brah."
Oh shit! Sorry, Shador. Sorry. Tell your dad I'm a big fan. Oh God, I'm so tired of fucking. Oh, I'm so tired of the Sanders family.
I'm going to look at this Bengals team real quick because, dude, there's not much to talk about this game. This is a cleanup game.
There really isn't.
This is just a cleanup game. Go out there and clean things up from the last game and show yourself that you can achieve this goal or that goal, because the longer this Joe Burrow situation stays, the more these guys are just going to bail. Like, they're not.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a real mess in Cincinnati. I know they got to a Super Bowl a couple of years ago. That was very exciting, but it's just like all that goodwill, all that positive progression is just in tatters right now. And it's a real mess. A lot of drama going on.
Already talking about moving on from their coach.
Yeah, it's a fucking disaster. You see this happen sometimes. I remember with the Miami Dolphins when they first got Tua back before he got his brain turned into gelatin. People were talking about Brian Flores as being like this good coach and a good system, and Tua being like a dynamic quarterback, and then it all just fell apart. And now it's an absolute mess in Miami. Because something similar, it looks to me like it's happening in Cincinnati, and it's a similar situation to Jacksonville. Remember, they had a great season about 5, 6, 7 years ago, but they won like 14 games, but they just couldn't keep the team together. It seemed like maybe Jacksonville's turning a corner. Maybe they got a coach in place. Maybe they got a system. They got the right guys at the right time, and they built a winner. But they just lost everybody. I hate seeing a culture shift stall, and sometimes I worry that might happen to the Detroit Lions. But honestly, I just don't see it happening anytime soon. It's been about 5 years of this. But more of it's Cincinnati, it's a mess, and I don't know how it gets fixed, and I don't think Joe Burrow wants to do this shit much longer. So,
well, he doesn't, and I'm reading these comments from Jamar Chase, and Jamar Chase is just out there stating in the most polite way, right? And he's saying, because he was asked if the Bengals have a true sense of urgency after back-to-back blowout losses, and he said, urgency's there, but you've got to want it. Today, it didn't look like he wanted it. And thank God the geniuses of Joe Buck and Troy Aikman agreed. Oh, wow. Awesome. But it's true, man, right? And you're starting, and these are the words of the stripe hype, which must be Cincinnati's like one pride, right? Or Pride of Detroit.
Yeah.
And it says, we're starting to see a pattern of incompetent offensive game planning and seemingly no signs from Taylor, right? So this is already a dig at the head coach.
Yeah.
And that he's had any adjustments left in his bag. So now, is this a Jamar Chase-led team or a Zach Taylor-led team? And is Zach Taylor going and sticking with his shitty offensive game planning? And is that going to get him kicked out of Cincy, right? So suddenly the 2-0 start season looks like a mirage, and that's pretty easy, right? So we're averaging 41.3 points across our last 3 wins. What scares me, dude, is that they still have dogs on the defense, right? And it's just, do these guys give a shit and want to play? And Probably for the first half, yeah. The second half, maybe. But if we're sitting here and Hutchinson has got a fucking some dude's arm and he's just beating the other guy in the head with it, are these guys just going to go, I'm done, dude. I don't care. Because that's what happened in that Denver game. They gave up.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a total disaster. I just, I mean that it wasn't as bad as that fucking Minnesota Vikings beatdown where you had
Oh God.
oh shit, who's his name? Shit.
Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz. Jeez, it was on the tip of my tongue. I almost had it. You didn't have to remind me almost. But yeah, it was that, that was an absolute disaster. But when Bo Nix is putting up 330 yards and 2 touchdowns on you, J.K. Dobbins looked like a stud. Cortland Sutton had 80 yards. I mean, just like it's just stunting all over the Bengals. I mean, obviously it wasn't as catastrophic as the Minnesota Vikings game, but it's just clear this team, the Bengals, has absolutely nothing without Joe Burrow. I mean, it's a real mess. And I understand, Jamar Chase, he might get sick of this shit too, man. And
that sounds like he already is.
It sounds like he already is, but what could be, with Jamar Chase and like Joe Burrow, it could be like a dynamic thing. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like maybe Matthew Stafford and like a Calvin Johnson. Maybe that's kind of not a great comparison, but 2 guys, who can are obviously talented, a great connection, could be a really epic story, like Joe Montana and Jerry Rice or something.
It's exactly what it reminds me of. And what are you going to do with it?
It just kind of fizzles.
Are you going to let Jamar Chase retire like we let Calvin and then trade off Stafford and hit the reset?
Yeah.
Or do you just trade them both right now and maximize your value? Because
I mean, God, it's just
I don't know, man.
It's just a real mess.
I don't know if you're putting any money on these games or not, but like I've been kind of looking at some of these betting odds, and I guess they're already making their projections for Week 5, and they set the opening betting line as the Lions minus 8.5 points.
Okay,
that's big. That's big.
Yeah, that is big. That is big, but it's understandable. I don't see. I mean, this team does not. It's going to be easy pickings for the Lions. This game is just a cushion game. That's what I call it, where you can just build up a little bit of a lead in the division. I don't know who Green Bay plays next, but that
another team that they want to tie with.
Yeah, another team they tied with. I gotta give credit. I just think it's funny. I think I brought it up already, but I think we talked about this before. But credit where credit's due. Dak Prescott making some amazing plays in that game, but it's just one of those games. Cincinnati's situation's bad. I feel bad for them because, Mark, you and I both know what it's like to have a football team that is totally, completely and hopeless.
Yeah.
And just has no positive future. And it sucks because Cincinnati got to a Super Bowl. That's something Detroit Lions, even when they sucked, were never able to do. But just to come down from that.
And how cool they looked.
Teams, how cool they looked. And you see what they're capable of with Joe Burrow, but if they can't, keep him healthy, it's just a fucking mess.
I'll tell you what. Well, the Packers get a bye this week after that shitbag tie with Dallas. They get a bye.
Yeah,
and the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, good for them.
Let's see. What are my buddies here at the Dallas Cowboys?
Who are they playing next?
They're playing the Jets, so that's going to be Aaron Glenn's. Dude, we got to root hard for Aaron Glenn in that game. Glenn, we're going all in on you guys because you're going to beat the Dallas Cowboys, and the Dallas Cowboys are going to. We got to
root for J.J. McCarthy versus the Packers too. Yep. Oh yeah, definitely.
It's going to be good, dude.
I got one thing here. Yeah, I got one thing on Reddit that said Lions are favored by 10.5 in Cincy.
Really?
I don't know, man.
Well, I'm just pulling up DraftKings right
take
now.
The points with that.
I'm pulling it up right now just to see.
I don't know if the lines are moving. I don't know if there's been any updates. I don't know if there's any injury stuff happening, but what are the Detroit Lions injuries at? Has there been anything announced?
Dude. Let's see.
I just kind of wonder if the line is moving.
The money line is minus 535.
Yeah.
You're about to pull it up.
Damn.
The
Yeah,
over
I
under,
got
dude, is set
Dan
at
Campbell did good
49
news.
and a half. Holy shit.
49.5. How much of that's going to be the Lions? Holy moly.
I know, and that's what makes me
Jeez.
wonder, do you take the under? Because like that's all Lions. If that's what you think, the Lions are going to
Yeah.
seriously put up like almost 50 points themselves, and then the Bengals
The
put
Lions
up what,
could do
6? Like
I
there's
mean,
a
we saw
shootout, but
we
don't need to.
mhm.
Why? That's I don't know.
Yeah.
I would not take the over on that. I take the under.
Yeah, probably.
Holy shit, you're right. The spread
That's
is at
probably not a
fucking
bad bet to
minus
make.
10, Tom. It has changed.
Mine is 10.5. Holy
Minus
shit,
10.
it has changed. But
That's
as far
wild.
as I mean, there's good news on DJ Reed and Terry and Arnold. Keep him down for a while, but it avoids the worst case scenario. So DJ Reed's probably going to be missing, which sucks. But
Well, if
what are you
there's a
gonna
game
do?
that he's going to miss, and I think it's going to be a couple weeks, this one I'm okay with. We got to have him healthy for the back end of the season. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah.
Like if he's going to be,
Yeah,
dude. If he's out for a couple games, okay. Our corners, Amik Robertson and all these other
Yeah.
fellas are playing nice, but seeing what DJ Reed's already done for us, we're going to need him healthy at the
Yeah.
right time.
absolutely. We got to get through this glut of the season. We know they kind of have a gauntlet coming up. They got the Chiefs coming up. God, the Bengals game was so scary at the start of the season, but now it's just like, ha ha.
Yeah, I
the
know.
Buccaneers, Vikes, Commanders, Eagles. That's the toughest. After the Bengals, these 5 games coming up here, that's the meat of the season right there. That's going to be the toughest 5 games of the season. If the Lions can be like, 3-2, and that would make them like 7-3. If the Lions can be like 7-3 through this, I'm not. I don't know if they're going to be. I think the Chiefs and the Eagles are probably going to be the losses. But you never know. Lions could surprise you. But yeah, they're going to be in Kansas City. But yeah, if they can be like 3-2, I don't know if at 4-1 is probably asking for too much, but if they can be 3-2 in the next 5 weeks, I think we'll be sitting pretty because we got the Giants, Packers, Cowboys, and Rams. We got the Steelers with old ass Aaron Rodgers, the Vikings again, and then the Bears again. So
You're
these
right,
next
man.
5 games, that's going to be,
this
that can
schedule
make or
looks
break
so
the Lions
different.
season going forward. Yeah,
So different at the
Yeah,
beginning of
but-
the season. It's like a whole different perspective now that things have fallen out.
yeah,
And
yep.
yeah, that's
And there's still
that's-
injuries. There's still stuff.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of stuff
Yeah.
that can happen. We saw the Ravens had a few injuries. But but yeah, you never know. Things can change week to week.
Well, not much
So,
has
I
changed
don't
in this
know.
New York Boston game. Still
No.
1-0, top of the 5th. Not much has changed.
Yeah, that's not too surprising. But yeah, it's hard to predict these kind of things. You don't know if like the Lions are going to get bit by the injury bug again or whatever. But yeah, we'll see how this plays out. I got a pretty good feeling, but
Yeah, I do too.
Lions got,
I do too. This is a good game for you to comfortably sit around and not have to worry about things. And maybe this is a Tesla game.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a J-Mo gets his big ball game back. Maybe this is a game where
Yeah.
you get the offense to try to do things. Either way, we're not freaking out, right? We're still playing hardcore.
No.
We're still nose to the grindstone, but we're more
Damn it.
we're more Tigers focused right now. I think our Lions have our Detroit sports hearts pretty sewed up good. You've been putting out some big Red Wings videos, and thank you for that because the season's about to start.
Yeah, it's getting real close. They've kind of petered off a little bit in the preseason. I think they had 3 straight losses, but I'm probably going to cover those. But covering losses is no fun. And it's the preseason. I don't know how many people tune in for that, but I think we got a pretty good idea of where the Wings, prospects are. And I think there's going to be, like I kind of said, maybe I didn't give the most passionate answer last time you asked me about that, but we'll see. Let's see if there's any Detroit Red Wings news. Have anybody?
I will say
any kind of roster news.
Very hockey name that I'm excited about saying a lot is Axel Sandin Pelican. That is such a fucking hockey name that I can't wait to have that as a part of our team.
Yeah. We got a few more. We got a preseason game against the Blackhawks today at 8. So maybe we could watch that after the stream ends. And then we got 2 more games against the Maple Leafs, home and home. And then our first game We're playing the Maple Leafs a lot. We're playing them twice in the preseason, and then we're playing the Maple Leafs twice in the first 4 games. So we got Canadians, Maple Leafs, Maple Leafs. So we got 3 original 6 matchups, and we're heading to Panthers. Yeah, so the Panthers, Lightning, Oilers, that's going to be, and Maple Leafs, that's going to be a tough task for the Red Wings. Maple Leafs, I know they lost Marner, I believe, but they're still. I mean, the Panthers are still an extremely dangerous team. I think Barkov is out though, so maybe we have a remote chance. I don't know. Oilers are still dangerous. Lightning's fading a little bit, but they're still a very dangerous team. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. It's gonna be a little bit. I think it could be a little bit of a rough start to the season, but yeah, we'll see how the Wings do. I'm a little more optimistic, but I'm not expecting too much. I'm keeping my. I'm not. I don't think it's. I mean, a lot of people have this mindset. There's a lot of. I tell you what. I look at a lot of our comments on these Red Wings videos. There's a lot of Wings fans out there that are still very patient, and I got down on Yzerman a little bit. Some people were calling me out for that. People are still very much believing in the Yzer plan. People still very much trust Yzerman's strategies. And I know we talked about how his free agency and trades hasn't been that great, but the drafting's been very good. And yeah, he's brought some talent in here. We got the old Blackhawks connection with Alex DeBrincat and Patrick Kane and whatnot. Those guys are working on pretty well. But overall, I mean, some of these contracts he's got, obviously, like JT Compher and Andrew Kopp and whatnot. Those are coming off the books in the next couple seasons. I think a couple of them coming off the books. They're going to have a lot more cap space coming up. But focusing more on this season, I don't know. I don't think people really believe. I don't think a lot of Red Wings fans are playoffs or bust. I think, I'm kind of backing off from that a little bit. I don't really expect much from them this season. I think they got a good shot. But if they don't make it, I'm not going to freak out. I'm just going to kind of be like, whatever, because this is still very much a rebuilding team. You have some of the core pieces put together. Yzerman's pretty much got his core together right now. And anybody else he adds in free agency, a few guys here and there. I think the goaltending will be better. The defense pairing up like Moritz Seider with Ben Sherratt makes me nervous. I'm not sure where some of these defensive additions are gonna be. I don't know. Are we going to see any of Travis Hamonic? I kind of hope not. He's probably just a depth piece for Grand Rapids, but we'll see. There's still questions with the Red Wings. I've discussed it. I don't know. It's just time for the goddamn season to start. Just let this goddamn season start already. I'm so tired of speculating. I want to see the product on the ice so bad. Thursday, October 9th at 7 p.m. at LCA. We're going to see the Wings and the Canadians face off. Canadians are another team in our division. They're getting up there. They got some talent on the team this year. I think they got Nick Suzuki. Who's that young kid's? What's his name? Noah Dobson. They got Noah Dobson. They got Lane Hudson, Patrick Laine, Nick Suzuki, Cole Caulfield, Juraj Sofovsky, Capo Kakkonen, Kirby Doc. They got some solid guys on the roster. I think the Canadians are an up-and-coming team. That'll be a test. The Wings are going to be tested first 5 or 6 games of the season. They got some big, they got a lot of talent coming their way, but we'll see how they do. Might be a little rough, but I'm not really going to lose faith. We'll see how this team, because I think we're probably going to be enduring some adversity, but how the Wings get through that, how they respond, if they can avoid being too streaky, because that's been the theme of the Red Wings of the Yzerman era, where they go like 16-4, and then they lose like 10 of their next 12,
and they look awful.
The late March Yes, they do. Yuck. I'm sorry, but I've been coughing too damn much. But anyways, we see the late season collapses. We see these fall hard. If the Wings absolutely the one thing they have to be if they want to have any measure of success, they got to be consistent. Hopefully, consistently good. Hopefully, they can play. I think they'll be above 500 again this year, which will be good. I don't think they're going to backslide too much. I think we're going to see more of the young guys. But we'll see, how they match up. We'll see. I mean, James Van Riemsdyk, I don't know. I mean, the guy's on the wrong side of 30. I don't know what he has left in the tank.
Hey, easy
I'm
now. We
excited
might
to
be
see
buying
Axel
a
Sandy
Van.
Pellica.
Might be buying a Van Riemsdyk jersey this year.
Oh, Jesus. But we got like Emmett Finney. He was kind of a standout in the preseason. Carter Mazur. Let's see what he can do. Nate Danielson, another guy I'm excited to see. Marco Casper still filling in that second line center spot, which the Wings have desperately needed. But yeah, we might see more. We might see some Michael Brandsegg, Nygaard, Elmer Soderblom, Simon Edvidson. Still, we have like the two top guys are probably going to be Moritz Seider and Simon Edvidson. But I don't think. I mean, there might be some line cycling. Obviously, that's just part of hockey. But I'd like to see what Simon Edvidson and Moritz Seider can do. I like to see some of the stats. When they're on the ice together, if they ever are, because who they're getting paired with is just But we'll see how this team does. We'll see what they do. We might see some Shai Boyum, William Vollander. So we'll probably see some of the Grand Rapids guys, some of the guys coming up. But it's still going to be kind of a crapshoot, I think. But Sebastian Costa, there's some questions about him going forward. We'll see. Let me see here. We got a statement from Todd McClellan. Hopefully, this isn't a paid article. As in the case of many goaltenders, Costa development has included both ups and downs as far as his 10 years of Walleye and Grand Rapids Griffins, making 15 saves and 17 shots in a 3-2 win over the Chicago Blackhawks. Costa surrendered 4 goals in the 16 shots he faced, part of a 5-2 loss. I believe that was against the Buffalo Sabres. Tage Thompson kind of lit him up. Kind of a shame. They're both positive and negatives, but Todd McClellan says he likes what he sees. We'll see what happens. I think he has some of the talent there. Obviously, that's why they drafted him. He's been the Wings' big project for a number of years now. God damn it. But, yeah, we'll see what he does. It's a big question in goaltending. Can they get a guy that's consistent? Can they get a guy that can win them some games? That's just kind of been a goalie carousel for the last few years since Jimmy Howard left. But,
Jimmy Howard.
Obviously number one goaltender. Yeah, good old Jimmy Howard. He had some solid games for us.
He did.
But
he did. James was
he did. He had some good moments with us. Yeah. But yeah, Jimmy, I don't think he got enough daps personally, but we'll see what they can do. Is this John Gibson guy? Can he be kind of the anchor? Maybe I don't know how many starts we're going to get out of him. If he's going to be a workhorse, get a 50-60 start kind of season, we'll see. There's still some question marks, but I don't know. I've been speculating so much. I've been making a lot of content about the Wings, as you know, but I just want to see the product on the ice. That's what I'm mostly interested in. So I don't know what your thoughts are on I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Well, I'm going to tell you what my thoughts are. So I was really getting agitated because I'm not a super duper big Red Wings hockey aficionado like yourself. You say you're not. Shut up. You are. But it got me to the point where I needed to reset my expectations and figure out what this whole Yzer plan looks like. Your videos, the comments from the viewers, they've kind of reset me and said to the whole trust the Yzer plan. Like I trusted Brad Holmes, like I'm asking you to trust Scott Harris. So I started looking at, and you were talking at some of these, the roster. I just typed in Detroit Red Wings roster. There's 2 big names on there with old big names that I'm cool with. And the rest of it, yeah, they're just gritty ass draft picks. So if this is what he does, and if you're telling me that if you want to believe in Yzerman, and the key to believing in Yzerman is let him draft and then let these things play out, then I'm excited. I'm watching it from now. I texted you. It was on the radio last night, and I'm like, okay. I'm like picturing myself now taken back and saying, okay, let's watch this whole season unfold as an excited, like all these names, all these young guys, right? He's going to get 2-3 years out of that, 2 years out of that with me. And then I'm going to want to see some dubs. But I think the season's going to be really good. I think it's going to be a season where I think we actually do make the playoffs. I think a lot of fanfare is gone with expecting him to bring in big names and literally woo us like 97, 98, not realizing that
Yeah.
that was 97, 98. He came in the league in what, 84?
Yes, he was
84?
drafted in 83.
He was drafted in 83, and the shit we're talking about that we fell in love with was 97. So, okay, there it is right there, Mark. Listen to Hermdo, listen to all these other folks. And yeah, so
Yeah.
that's my thought. That's my thought process.
That's the thing. The thing is, people don't realize I was too young for this, obviously, but looking back at following the Wings as I have, Yzerman was considered a choke artist. It
He
took him
was.
14 years to win a cup. He
Yep.
didn't really until like you started getting Lidstrom and Fedorov and Shanahan involved. The guy just couldn't win. Granted, you know, he didn't have always the best supporting cast. They had some other decent players. Like
Yeah, and he
Jarmo
was going
Granic
against the
Reed
Gretzky
Larson's in
era
the 80s.
too. So
yeah, the
that
Gretzky
was-
era too. I mean, no one's getting past Gretzky. In that era, that was insane. But you know, it took him a while to get where he was. He's kind of like an Alex Ovechkin in a way.
Yeah.
Alex Ovechkin didn't win. He was drafted in 04. He didn't win until 2018. A very similar path with Steve Yzerman. But yeah, it's one of those things. But yeah, you're talking about, you know, we should talk more about Red Wings hockey history, maybe another episode. I know we're kind of running short on time here, but
that's a great idea actually, because I could offer a lot more about Red Wings hockey history than probably so much more about the future.
Yeah. I focus more on where this team's going to be, but in the next few years, I'm going to get a little more positive here. And I know that I think there's a method behind Steve Yzerman's madness when it comes to like some of these free agency signings. Some of the trades have been kind of like, huh? But I think he's bringing in a lot of bridge guys because I think his main thing is draft.
Yep.
In the next couple years, you're going to see a lot of these guys, a lot of these dudes on the wrong side of 30, a lot of these guys who just on the 2 or 3 year contracts, they're going away. And we're going to be seeing the Carter Bears, the Axel Sandin Pelicans, the Nate Danielsons fill those roles over the next 2 or 3 years. And for the most part, I think Wings fans are, from what I've seen, I can only speak. It might be different for you guys out there watching. Maybe you guys have seen something different. I know a lot of people, if you listen to 97.1 The Ticket, they're totally out on Yzerman. I mean, Valenti's been banging that drum for like 3 years now. It's just like, dude, give it a rest. Go eat some spaghetti or something. But it's basically, you know, you're going to be seeing more of these guys rotated in there. The roster is going to get a lot younger. And yeah, we don't really have top level talent anymore, but we're going to have a fuck ton of cap money to get somebody around the 25, the mid 20s age range, somebody who can, you know, be a 90, 100 point getter, or some elite defensive guys. I know we were in the Noah Dobson sweepstakes, but you know, but that didn't work out. Obviously, but you know, it's one of those things. You know, Yzerman's free agency, you know, but it hinges on a few things. Yzerman has to have better relationships with these agents. I know there's a lot of tension between him and some of these agents, some of the big player agents here. Yzerman is not a very easy guy to talk to, and
you're going to have quiet and weird.
He's going to have to schmooze a little bit. He's a quiet guy. He keeps everything to himself. He's one of these dudes, and you know, I'd love Yzerman to open up a little bit. That's just not his MO. But he's going to have to, if he wants this team, you know, I mean, obviously we're going to be waiting a few more years for this team to be a cup contender. But if he wants to start starting this team, I mean, I just don't think he's going to like, he's not going to go out, give like a Kaprizov deal. I mean, Kirill Kaprizov for the Minnesota Wild signed like a 8-year, $136 million deal. Some absolutely insane deal. I think the biggest hockey deal ever. I mean, I don't know what the AAV is on that, but I got to imagine it's even higher than Austin Matthews, which is absolutely insane.
Well,
but
they'll all be
to
absolutely
go back to the KHL.
Say they'll all be absolutely insane until the next one, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I wanted to bring this up because we started on postseason baseball. Then we talked about the Lions and the Cincinnati game, and then we kind of amped up everybody for opener of the Red Wings game. But really, before we do sign off, looking at this postseason picture, we already know that the Mariners are a bye, Toronto's a bye. Tell me where you see this thing playing out in the next round. You see Detroit
If
playing
I had
Seattle.
to guess, I got a feeling. I think Detroit takes care of business in Cleveland. I think we move on. I don't think we're getting past the Seattle Mariners.
Nope.
We do not have the pitching.
Nope.
We do not have the pitching to tackle that offense.
And we can't. We can't outslug them. We cannot outslug them.
No, we absolutely can't. Seattle, I think, goes to the ALCS, where I believe the Yankees. I don't know. I know like some of their big names just do not show up in the postseason. I think Boston's hungrier because Boston was, some of these teams, even the Yankees looked a little weak there for a while. A lot of these teams, Seattle was there. Detroit was leading so high. A lot of these teams were just kind of, they weren't like clawing bottom or nothing, but they were like in the middle of the pack and they were kind of around the 500 mark. And they just, in the last couple months of the season, they shot up. Their stock went way up. Everything just kind of clicked. Seattle Mariners, they started playing a lot better.
So are you thinking this is a 1-2 in the ALCS?
I think so.
Okay, that's where I'm headed to.
Hungrier. I think Boston's hungrier than the Yankees. I think the Yankees are going to sputter. If I had to guess, I don't know what the score of that game is. I could be full of shit.
Still 1-0 Yankees.
Still 1-0 Yankees. I don't know, man. I don't know. God almighty.
Well, I'll tell you what. So this is an easier way to say this. You can say Toronto is going to face off, that they're going to win that series, whoever they play, Boston, New York.
I think it's going to be Toronto
and Seattle.
Do I honestly want to say that Toronto's going to the World Series? They got the offense. I think they could take care of. I think it's going to be, if I absolutely have to guess, gun to my head, I think it's going to be Phillies, Toronto. That's my bracket.
Ooh, okay. That is
teams.
not what the Major League Baseball wants it to be. They want it to be Seattle versus LA. They want the big I forgot, I already got his name. But they're loving him.
New York
dude.
versus LA.
Well, that too, but Seattle's got a good story with these home runs.
Yeah, obviously they do. Cal Raleigh is a looks like a generational talent out there. He just kind of came out of nowhere. But if I had to guess, I'd love to see a Detroit San Diego rematch of the '84 World Series.
That would be awesome.
Not this year. That would be awesome, but not this year.
He don't want to walk you.
Jack Morris versus Tony Gwynn. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Milwaukee, I don't know. They're an extremely talented club, but we'll see.
Kirk Gibson versus Goose Gossage.
Yeah.
The battle of the mustaches. I want you to have a mustache next time we're back. I think you owe it to the world to have a powerful mustache.
I may very well have a mustache.
All right. Well, I think we need to end on the note of you potentially having a mustache because I want to see this game end. I'm going to eat some lovely dinner, and dude, another excellent video. Thank you so much for joining.
Yes. I think it was very good. Sorry about all the coughing. I'm going to go to the doctor and get this shit taken care of.
It's okay. I cough half the time too. So.
I probably should stop smoking too.
That helps. I'm not going to lie.
Just like my throats get dry. Yeah.
Quit smoking helps, but I'm not going to bug you.
Yeah, I know. I got to buckle down on that shit. But but that's good episode, good show. I think we answered a lot of our questions. We got to do some research here. I have so many tabs open right now, but I think I don't know. I feel optimistic about the Tigers beating the Guardians, but I don't think we're gonna be making it out of the ALDS. I think it's gonna be kind of a similar situation to last year, which is disappointing.
Yep.
Tigers have a lot of things to work on. This offseason could be very, very big for the Tigers. I don't see them spending too much, but could they bring in a Bregman or something? Or could they bring in some guys, maybe.
I'll tell you what. The one positive thing is
show up the rotation. Yeah.
Is if we do play Seattle, we'll have to stay up aggressively late to watch some of these games.
Yeah, those West Coast games are going to be brutal. Imagine like a Seattle, Los Angeles World Series. That's going to be the starting time will be like 3 a.m. But
gross.
Yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got for the episode. But we'll have to convene at some other time. Maybe after we'll see how the Tigers do in the wild card. Go Tigers, baby. Go all these teams. Go Lions. We got to start talking about the Pistons at some point too, man. We got to start adding some basketball in here. But
We will. I have
yeah.
lots of Pistons jerseys to wear. I've got my Pistons swag already up here, and I am big into cards to the point where I even collect basketball cards. So,
very cool. Very
this
cool.
is my little station that I do all my boxing up. I've got some stuff I need to box up later. And, but yeah, thank you for joining. We'll talk to you guys very soon. Hit subscribe and look into Building 7. It just completely fell down. Bye.
Yes, it did. Bye-bye.